On June 25th, a new baby boy was brought into the world, and that small, frail, and fragile baby was me. My name is Charlie Mendez, and this is how my story began. I was born into a Hispanic household in the suburb. The neighbors were friendly, despite some of them looking questionable at times. I was an only child, meaning I had no siblings to play with. It was just me, my mom, my dad, and our home. Compared to most kids, I was the odd one. I wasn't much of a sweet tooth, so any desserts or sodas that were around I would just ignore. I found those things to be gross or just too sweet for me, so I would always stick with juice or water. Growing up, I had trouble making friends for the longest time. None of the kids in elementary school or middle school really wanted to hang out with me. Many of the kids would bully and pick on me for the thrill of it. Thankfully, there was one person who saw me for who I was, and that was Ryan Cook. He was my first childhood friend who stood up for me against the other kids. We went to high school together and talked about what we planned to do when we graduated. I didn't really have anything thought out then, but Ryan was excited to join the UNSC and fight off the Covenant invasions. I couldn't understand why he wasn't scared of fighting in the front line, but after seeing that excited glint in his eyes and that determined grin, I knew he was sure about it. After graduation, Ryan immediately enrolled to become a soldier for the UNSC, while I went off preparing for college. The news would often report the Covenant attacks across other planets. However, a majority of those planets were further out and nowhere near where me and my family lived, so we didn't have to evacuate anytime soon. Though I was worried about Ryan's sake, going out there looked to be a death sentence. As I packed my bags and went out to check out nearby colleges, my family would have a sudden visit. While I was away, a Spartan soldier came to my house to deliver a letter, and when I got back, I learned that letter was directed towards me. To my dismay, after opening the contents inside, I learned that I was being drafted into the military. My family was aware the growing increase in Covenant activity was happening, but I never suspected I would be drafted to fight against them. I was horrified and shook. I was hyperventilating and I needed a means to escape. Sadly, there was none. It was either accept my fate or run, and running was out of the question unless I wanted to spend my life in prison. After my family comforted me and reassured me everything was going to be fine, I drove to the UNSC recruitment center for my processing. I was a sure candidate. Perfectly healthy, 20/20 vision, and no ailments or diseases could be found, making me a suitable soldier even though I was trembling out of fright. I was given a choice on what profession I wanted to be in, and after a short moment of pondering, I decided to become a Spartan. I knew the risk, but Ryan mentioned about becoming a Spartan, so I was hopeful I'd see him again. Once I was finished registering, I immediately went home and started packing the necessary items I was going to need to take when I left. It didn't take long for the day to arrive, as I hugged my parents and said my last goodbyes before heading out the door to ride a military truck to a designated location. I found myself in front of a pelican landing pad far from civilization and hidden within the trees. I was told it was to make sure no insurrection soldiers ever discovered the means to infiltrating a UNSC outpost. I slowly went up the steps, took a deep breath to calm my nerves, and embarked into my future. This is Vulture 5 requesting docking permissions. Over.
Vulture 5, you're clear to dock. It's good to have you back. Over.